Hey, what's up, guys? It's Chris again. First off, I want to apologize for the audio being out of sync on some of my videos. Not quite sure what the problem is. When I play my videos back on a Windows Media Player, they're in sync, and then when I upload them to YouTube, for some reason, some of them the audio gets out of sync. So I don't know what the issue is there. Also, the quality of the video is not looking quite as good as it does on my media player. So I don't know what the problem is there, but if anyone knows or can assist me, hit me up. I'd appreciate it. Anyhow, real quick, I want to talk about a few things that are going on in the boxing world that I kind of just had some thoughts on. First off, Antonio Margarito. He's the WBA champ, and he's been elevated, let's say, to super champ status at this point by the WBA. This is a rule I never quite understood. It's they name you, basically you're the champ, and what the rule normally is if you have two belts in that same division, they'll elevate you to super champ status. Then they can anoint another champion in that division with the same title, just being the WBA champion, and then there's a super champion. So basically you have two fighters in one division, both representing the title for that organization. Other than financial gain, which is what it's about, there's no reason for it. It doesn't make any sense at all. So, anyways, the thing is, like I said, it doesn't make sense at all anyway. But the fact of the matter is, Antonio Margarito doesn't even hold the second title in that division. So, as ridiculous as this rule is, it's even more so ridiculous because Margarito doesn't meet the criteria. So, I'm not quite sure why they elevated him. I'm trying to look it up right now. I forgot what they said. They said he met the criteria, or I don't know. They didn't even say, to be honest. They just made it up. Here's what it says right here. It says they felt that Margarito met those conditions to merit the super champion status, because they felt him beating Cotto was like being a unified champion. Not really, because he didn't come away with two belts, so it doesn't meet the same standard. So now the WBA regular champion is a guy by the name of Yuri Nuzhenko. Sorry if I mispronounced the name. It's because I've never heard of the guy. I have no idea who he is. I've never seen him fight. I don't really know what to say about the guy. I've never heard of him. So another thing that bothers me about this is now Margarito being bestowed as the super champion doesn't have to defend his version of the title until mandatory for 18 months, which may be a blessing in disguise, I guess, or a benefit to whoever the mandatory is, because now they get to fight this Yuri guy, and if they win, they're the WBA champ. So they don't have to go through Margarito, which is probably a much tougher fight than Mr. What did I say his name was? Mr. Nuzhenko, because I've never heard of the guy once again. So once again, like I said, it just doesn't make any sense to me, you know. I know it's a money play rule, you know, but it's just ridiculous. It makes no sense in my opinion. Anyhow, next up, Nate Campbell is now free agent. He filed for bankruptcy to get out of a contract he had with Don King, so he's free to sign with any promoter that would like to get him, acquire services. Can't blame him for doing this. I think the only reason he was with King is because so he could get the fight against Juan Diaz. And now, you know, Juan Diaz was having problems once he signed with King. He basically did the same thing. He wanted to get, you know, belts and good fights, but it didn't work out, you know. So Nate filed for bankruptcy. More power to him, you know. He did what he had to do, you know, to get out of his contract. I'm hoping he signs with Golden Boy, so this way he can they can make matches against him against the rematch against Diaz or a fight against Marquez. Because if he's not signed with Golden Boy, he's not going to get those fights. Also, even if he signs with Golden Boy, he'll have a chance to maybe get a Pacquiao fight. So hopefully he'll sign with them. If not, it'll be hard to see some of those fights being made, because Golden Boy likes to keep some of their fighters within their stable, and their champions, that is. Next up, I want to talk about Oscar. Speaking of Golden Boy. So he came out this week and said, regardless of the outcome of the fight with Manny, he's not gonna retire. He's gonna continue to fight on. You know, more power to him. That's his decision to make, you know, that's between him and his family, you know, whatever. But the problem is, I'm just tired of hearing Oscar make these retirement claims. You know, I mean, years ago I heard him say that he was going to retire by the age of 30. And then we've heard him throughout his career numerous times say he was going to retire, and then he never has, And I don't blame him, If you don't want to retire, for financial, or you just want to be in the sport more, whatever the reason, I can't blame him. But I just wish he would quit claiming he's going to retire. I don't know if he's saying this now that he's not going to, because maybe some doubts are creeping in as if he may lose to Pacquiao, and if he does, he doesn't want to go out that way. Or if it's because he wants to still set up a rematch with Mayweather for next year. Who knows? I'm sure it's probably financial, but Oscar will say otherwise. Either way, I'm kind of just hearing him talk out of both sides of his mouth. It's kind of like how when he said he would never fight a Puerto Rican because his wife's Puerto Rican, but yet he wanted to set up the fight with Cotto. Just kind of stick to your word, bro. I mean, if you want to retire, retire. If you don't, or you don't really plan on it, quit saying you're going to, because it doesn't hold weight with anybody anymore, because it's hard for people to take you serious if you don't really hold up to what you say. But anyways, that's just my opinion. Lastly, I want to talk about Arturo Gatti. There was a little rumor on the net last week about him possibly coming out of retirement. It was basically some promoter in Canada who has a fighter up there in the 147-pound division, a belt holder, wanting to set up a fight. Basically, he knows Gotti's a huge draw, and he'd be a big draw in Canada. So he's trying to coax him into a title opportunity. I read an interview on FightNews.com yesterday where Gatti said he hadn't contemplated coming out of retirement, although he thinks he may get the itch sometime in the future to fight again, but he probably won't because his wife wouldn't want him to. I think that's for the best. The way he went out against Gomez pretty much lets you know that he's done. I think they said he's currently at 180 pounds, so the lowest he could probably get down to is 147. And he was never really effective in that division anyway. Oscar smoked him, Gomez smoked him. He beat that one guy, the Danish fighter. I think his believe is Thomas Damgaard, but that wasn't an impressive win. He just never really was effective at that weight. So I hope he stays retired. He can live healthy, happily with his family. Because I don't want to see him come back. It'd basically just be for a payday, regardless. That he might come back for the love of it, but it's not going to be good for his long-term health. So I hope he stays retired. So that's it. Like I said, I just want to drop a few thoughts on some of the things going on in the boxing world this last week. Feel free to drop a comment. I'm sure some people might get mad about what I said about Oscar. I don't hate Oscar. I'm not an Oscar fan, but I'm not an Oscar detractor either. It's just I kind of get tired of his retirement talk. If you're going to do it, do it. If not, don't say you are. So that's it for now. Till next time, I'm out here, guys. Bye.